Open sesame. Endless riddles. Nothing but a void. Expand your thinking. Glimpse the unknown. Eternal. Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them. Open sesame. Nap time. Expand your thinking. Lend me your strength.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Open sesame. Endless riddles. Nothing but a void. Expand your thinking. Watch it grow. Lend me your strength. Open sesame. Existence is unity. To guard and defend. Crush them. Expand your thinking. I'm okay. Nap time. Open sesame. Troublesome. Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them. Expand your thinking. Endless riddles. Nothing but a void. Open sesame. Glimpse the unknown.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it. Lend me your strength. Expand your thinking. Eternal. Nap time. Open sesame. Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them. Expand your thinking. Endless riddles. Nothing but a void. Open sesame. Watch it grow.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Alchema and... me? What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Alchema and... me? What's going on? Is conducting research on our friends in Alchema and... me? Danny, look at this. My biggest fear. It's Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation. Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, it's Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation. Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches,
Sir, this sky above us, it's not real.
Of course not. This is just an image from a projection device used for educational purposes. A simple trick.
Sir, this sky above
The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan, much like how the sky above the holy city is also illuminated.
So, the skies of Akama are fake too.
The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan, much like how the sky above the holy city is also... You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa.
The skies
You should know that only a child would expose Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance.
Then they're just deluding themselves. People believe in Kefali's tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever we have already realized that we live in a world where Titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky.
So much time has passed since you sowed the seeds of doubt in my heart.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. But above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place. And the human soul, yet I have no means.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
That cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. Go. Establish. Find out what we are.
Child of... You didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
I shall do just that. Go. Establish. Find out what we are.
Child of... You didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
So, if I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas.
Before such power, does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
God's prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no
difference whether you're a human or a dromus?
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa. I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa. They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just... They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just... As I see it, Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way.
Oh? If power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy?
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so? The source of life is what I wish to grasp. To understand what, thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning. To understand what, thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning. How then is a soul born? That was the only unknown variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it,
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
and by the sound of it,
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa. I'm here. Her life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary steps. Professor Anaxa. I'm here. Her life hangs by a
Of course. I'll bring this to a conclusive end and give you the answer you so desire. However, in accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I'll bring this to a conclusive.
As you wish.
Don't you care to know what the price?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and her survival.
In accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange,
As you wish.
don't you care to know what the price?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan
This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life. There is no need for me to think twice. This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life.
I see.
There is no need for me to
In
think
that...
Indulge me. Am I correct to say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are... The reason I say this is, as I've mentioned earlier, the answer was hidden in my journey unto death. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are... The reason I say this is, as I mentioned earlier, the answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Professor, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a That's not all. Remember how I said you were...
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you would remember. I overheard a That's not all. Remember how I said you were...
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you remember. Because that wasn't you. That was Calypso. One of the 7
Calypso?
Huh? That's the... And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of...
Because that wasn't you. That was Calypso. One of the 7
Calypso?
Huh? That's the... And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of...
I have news from Hyacinth and Danheng. Anaxa might be trying to do something with
Kefale? But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders...
That is not possible.
What could Anaxa want? Is the
he is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with his tricks.
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Kainis is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans. Being Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt God. Till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
Preposterous! The Christos-heirs only have their standing because of the Council of Elders! How dare they trample over it!
Oh, wow. These people are shooting daggers with their eyes.
Preposterous! The Christos-heirs only have their standing because of the Council of Elders! How dare they trample over it!
Oh, wow. These people are shooting daggers with their eyes.
It's been a while. That's fine. I recognize you. The young lord has nothing but good words about your courage.
It has indeed been some time, Lord Grataros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh. Keep it down. Be more vigilant. See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for kindness. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
What brings you here in such haste?
Shh. Keep it down. Be more vigilant.
My bad.
Did you hear thunderclaps last night? They do the dirty work for kindness. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words at Akama.
My bad.
Did you hear thunderclaps last night? Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words at Akama.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out to me anytime.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out to me anytime.
You have my gratitude.
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious kindness has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps undercover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the council.
That's...
Looks like you can
We should get back. Thank you for the intel.
undercover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect.
By Catherly into Lantern above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Looks like you can
We should get back. Thank you for the intel.
As the Theoros I have observed. Virtuous citizens of Akama, fine and
Aglaya! What?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident.
What?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. But this has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time.
Yes, this is my duty.
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya.
There is no glory in but that makes having respect for
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today.
without flaw, capable of relating deeply.
I appreciate what you've taught me.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphorius was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kethely's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kethely's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Now, which of the two would lead mortals to?
But how are we supposed to send Amphorius back to Era Chrysia?
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does...
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again.
That Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me.
Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages. And Castorus, Idonia's god. With the help of these 2 heroes, I can promise all of you...
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? There's a...
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya is unfit to speak on behalf of every Chrysan.
You finally arrived, Naxa.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many. Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame, what...
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphorius back to an era when all beings live forever.
He's one of the 7 sages. Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go...
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the sea. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Oh. Could it be that you heard that from the Flame Reaver themselves? Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary era...
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity...
This is bad.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything...
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear... For Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death.
What? With that, I solemnly promise that the Corf... Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the...
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. Buy carefully and to lent and above, as the Theoros I have observed. Arkema has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to...
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been preordained by the
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly. Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to...
Wag your tongue as much as you like.
Castress. What's going on?
I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
In actuality, a past that was both long and heavy. Questions to ask me.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Professor, you were in the...
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death. Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. Queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. Queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until... river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. Terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well.
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
It seems that you still like to whet people's So, according to your story, and yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh?
In that case...
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to...
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange?
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like... honor the dead.
principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just...
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have existed. I think I would use it without hesitation. My time is finally here. However,
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the root. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but what should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topic, but these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphorius's history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. I have long held three hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
The Titans were born was complete chaos. I have long held three hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Regarding the Nias, are you confident?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity. You really know how.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending.
I do not understand. Why would you?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Chaos were in my position, I believe they would make...
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior has the embodiment of Mikador's divinity. He entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is, in fact, of course.
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity. Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia. Is the
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan. If so, the chosen one...
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Anaias.
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally,
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
all farewells in this world are so.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this...
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore. Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my...
enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I... And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand...
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing?
Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reckon.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine. The first time I returned from the battlefield, the calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, it was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing. Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead to...
That's exactly what life is. And death is but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate.
The embodiment of strength, telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my work. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await when that moment finally comes. Indeed, I believe that when the moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my work. It is time for me to...
I knew this day would eventually...
I will set up
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Calixia, I'm here. What? This...
This is quite an...
Is this... Calixia's sister? Is it...
Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That... I...
Is it? You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends...
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death sacrifice. I was never long for this. I was the one who wasted. You're wrong. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside. How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me. What exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. We're twins, after. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death.
that. Use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I impart, would you use it to
Death is inevitable. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl. I shall open wide the entrance to the nether realm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead. And do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. As for the price of our
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheons, and just like the flame chase journey of today. Amphorius's history is cyclical in nature. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheons, just like the flame chase journey of today. Amphorius's history is cyclical in nature.
What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new Titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world? What a startling revelation.
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy. I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are...
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia mentioned that seaside town, the birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Fagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that...
Take this.
This is...
The new Sporist masterpiece. The Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting, remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire... However, my line of thinking will not fit. Actions speak louder than words, Castoris. With the assembly about to be...
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time, but before I leave, I have another question.
That was the world imprinted in Kefla. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final.
I understand. I've already searched for so long.
Hey, try...
Don't get antsy.
One more time, but before I leave, I have another question.
That was the world imprinted in Kefla. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final.
I understand.
Don't get antsy.
That's a lot.
Lady Aglaya, please. You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons, and the Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great perform. A world without death.
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Go, I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death, Casterus. I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but
New interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the River of Soul...
The answer is quite simple. In the Mids, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same.
Styxia is now an island surrounded by the River of Soul...
The answer is quite simple. In the Mids, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their... I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow.
Hung isn't back yet.
Hey, friend! Is the debate finally over? Did you... What a glorious defeat! Well, moving on. Hey, friend! Is the debate finally over? What a glorious defeat! Well, moving on. Cass?
Lady Trebe.
Is something troubling?
No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the dome.
Has anyone told you that your eyes are sparkling today? Is something troubling?
No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was. Is that a fix?
In the past, when you did smile once in a while, all of us could see that your heart remained troubled even as you smiled.
Is that a fix?
In the past, when you did smile once in a while, all of us could see that your heart remained troubled even as you smiled.
Lady Trebe, you know perfectly. I hope your toughness is not a mask.
Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what we are just happy for you.
Isn't it a little too soon?
But you already know where there's no need to rely on anyone else. Just give it your all and leave no because we embrace others to comfort them. You hardly ever and Cass,
thank you. This feeling. It's hard to put into words. I suddenly found myself with so many wishes. So much I want to accomplish before setting off.
Then go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't get. So, let's meet back here when you return from
So much I want to accomplish.
I can't sleep.
Go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't. So, let's meet back here when you return from
It's me. I hope I didn't wake you. I'm glad to see you. I'm here because of private. If it isn't too much to ask. Huh? But I can. Sorry. It isn't a long way from here.
I'd love to go in and... vote! Tell me how I can vote!
Take your ceramic shard engraved with the Kepali rune. Select the count.
The Council of Elders? More like the Council of Buffoons! The Black Tide took
The Titans are just.
Oh, please. The time when these deranged Titans...
And I pray that Talanton smacks some sense.
That was... You're interested in... To this day, I still find it almost unreal that Akama is the only place this peaceful site is... Before coming here, I had lived for many years in Idonia, a city of rime and frost. The people there were devotees of Thanatos, traditions that I played a major role in. Yes, back in those days, I was trudging across the frosty plains on my own when the Idonians found me. They provided I was expected to grant merciful deaths to war captives, prisoners bound for execution, and heroes alike. Yes. No matter how kind or cruel the means, taking away someone's life. I can't do it. Their voices.
Please!
This is your duty. Remember, consider the source.
Thank you.
May you gain some insight.
Is this...
No. This is just the beginning of your life as the Maiden of War.
You executioner!
Do it then, executioner.
You heard him.
Expand your thinking.
May death protect us!
Expand your thinking.
Do it then, executioner.
May death protect us!
I curse you
Why?
to live.
I don't have time for games.
Embrace a new life.
Open sesame.
May death protect us! Why?
I don't have time.
Please, embrace a new life.
Open sesame.
May death protect us! When will this ever end?
You murderer!